Yo guys, what's going on? Ace is here today with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys what insurance to use here in the Cycle Frontier. It might be a little confusing, so I'm going to do my best to help clear things up for you. Do me a favor, man. Make sure you leave a like on this video here today and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Love for you to be a part of the journey to 1K. So let's hop over to the launch terminal, and I'm going to show you guys how to insure items. So obviously select your map. You already know how to do that, but we have some additional options here. We have standard insurance and we have gear salvage. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. 99% of the time, you want to use standard insurance simply because you're going to die a lot. So if I insure this backpack right here, we're going to pay 120K marks, but if we die, no matter what, doesn't matter if another player takes our bag, unless it's a teammate. If it's a teammate that takes it and extracts with it, you will not get the insurance, but that's a rare exception. We have, if you die at all, when this item is insured, you will get this payout of 300 and you're only paying 120. Don't get me wrong, you're going to die a lot in the Cycle Frontier. It's just what kind of game it is, man. It's just like Tarkov, you're going to die a lot. Now, one thing about the gear salvage that's not like Escape from Tarkov is you can't do insurance fraud in this game. They have already accounted for that, and they will not allow it. But when do you want to use gear salvage? Well, in my personal opinion, any item that cannot be purchased from any of the quick shops is one that you want to consider on gear salvage, because you're either going to have to craft it or you're going to have to loot it. You can't necessarily buy every single item in the game. One that's not as accessible but still a really good weapon is the Manticores. So you would want to ensure that in your gear salvage section, because if this thing despawns, you definitely want that Manticore back. But if it doesn't, then you know you're going to lose it, and that's the difference here. So if somebody does loot this Manticore and takes it out of raid, you're not going to get it back. And that's when having it on standard insurance is going to be a lot better, because you're going to get a nice major payout. So it's a risk-reward thing with the insurance. They actually made it worth picking a certain type of insurance here in the Cycle Frontier, rather on Tarkov, where it's just kind of like insure your gear, insurance fraud, or throw it somewhere in a bush and you know you're going to get it back. It's not as simple as that here in the Cycle Frontier. Now, when it comes to you just dropping a gear salvaged item, if I had this Manticore insured and I just dropped it on the ground, it will not come back to me. You have to be killed, and it has to despawn on its own and not be extracted with. So you have to really know you're going to get killed, and you know they're not going to loot you. That's kind of the strategy you have to go with. So one of the better items to use gear salvage with is some of the higher end sniper rifles, in my opinion anyway. Some of the long range weaponry, those are the better ones to have under gear salvage. But when it comes to normal items, such as a small backpack, you want to have this under standard insurance every single time, because if you die with it, it's no big deal. You're getting a nice little payout, and you're only paying a fraction of what you're actually paid out. And if you're wondering, where does this payout go? Does it go right in my account? Well, no. You actually have to have the quarters upgraded enough to a point where you can receive stuff in your generator, which is very early on, and pretty much the tutorial missions. Obviously, your quarter upgrades is going to be part of a tutorial mission. And over here in the income generators, you're going to see insurance package, and you can store up to 20 deaths worth of packages. 20 deaths. You could die 20 times before you have to collect anything. One thing to note is when you die, it takes about 40 minutes to get that insurance back. So it does take a little bit, but not nearly as long as Escape from Tarkov. That takes sometimes 12 to 24 hours. So you will get that payout, but it does take about 40 minutes. And this is where you will claim it here in your little hideout section. So that's going to be it for the video here today. If you learned something, found it informative or helpful, make sure to leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, sponsors, and equipment in the description below. It's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm out.